I solemnly swear that the testimony I give to this court in this trial shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. A special panel consisting of 3 judges has exclusive jurisdiction to hear serious crimes cases in the Dili District Court. Specifically, the special panel has exclusive jurisdiction to try people accused of crimes against humanity, genocide, war crimes, torture, and cases of murder and sexual offences committed before October 1999. The law mandates that other district courts will be established in Baucau, Suai and Akusi. These courts deal with all other crimes committed after October the 25th, 1999. This video looks at the role of the special panel in the Dili District Court, whose work focuses primarily on crimes committed from January to October 1999. This is the Dili District Court, where the serious crimes trials are held. The people on the prosecution and defence may change, the witnesses change, and the panel of judges change for each separate case, but positions remain the same. The courtroom is organised in a specific way, so even though the people change, the organisation of the courtroom remains the same. For example, the judges always sit in front. Cases in which individuals are charged with serious crimes will be heard by a special panel of 3 judges in the Dili District Court. The special panel consists of 1 Timorese judge and 2 international judges. The special panel will hear the evidence brought forward by the prosecutor and the defence, and will ultimately determine whether the evidence proves that an individual committed the crime. The judges are required to take an oath to perform their duties independently and impartially, and in accordance with the laws of East Timor, and they take that oath requiring them to do so. Several rules have been put in place to ensure that members of the East Timor judiciary are totally independent and are answerable only to the East Timor judicial system. Should a judge consider that his or her impartiality might be questioned or compromised for any reason, the judge must disqualify himself or herself from the case. While in office, judges are barred from accepting political or other public office, and from accepting any other employment, including teaching law, participating in writing law, or carrying out legal research on a part-time basis, unless for honorary unpaid purposes. If a judge is related to an accused, he or she cannot be on the special panel hearing that case.
In 1999, many serious crimes were committed in East Timor. Prosecutors in East Timor work together with interpreters and investigators to determine who is responsible for a specific crime or a series of crimes. The Serious Crimes Unit based in Dili focuses primarily on serious crimes that were committed in 1999, both before and after the referendum. Once a prosecutor determines that there is enough evidence to hold a person responsible for a crime, the prosecutor will initiate formal criminal charges against that individual. Those charges are in writing and are filed in Dili District Court. After indictment, it is the role of the prosecutor to present the evidence against that individual before a special panel of judges, which is also in Dili District Court. A large part of that job is to work with witnesses and bring the witnesses to the crimes to the court in order for them to tell their story. Prosecutors in East Timor take an oath to uphold the laws of East Timor and to carry out their responsibilities impartially and without prejudice.
Prosecutors are sworn in as representatives of the state. They direct the investigation and determine based on that investigation whether to charge or indict an individual for one or more crimes. Once a person has been arrested, the court schedules a day for the trial to begin. Once the trial begins, it is the role of the prosecutor to present evidence to the court to prove that the accused actually committed the crime.
This is Cancio. Where's Cancio? Cancio is here.
Every person placed under arrest has the right to be represented by a lawyer in any proceedings. This lawyer is called defense counsel.
The function of a defense lawyer is to give legal support for all East Timorese citizens who do not have the means to find their own legal representation. All people have the right to a good lawyer. If someone has committed a crime, whether serious or minor, they have the right to a lawyer. This ensures their entitlement to representation within the judicial process. When the police investigators gather evidence requiring the presence of the suspect, such as by interviewing, a defense lawyer should always be present.
A legal aid service also provides a lawyer for those who cannot afford to pay for private lawyers. This lawyer represents the suspect's rights before the court regarding detention and trial and appeal. The defense counsel acts on behalf of the defendant according to the defendant's instructions, while advising on the judicial process. Every defense counsel has a duty to their client to raise every issue, advance every argument, and ask every question which he or she thinks will help their client's case. Defense counsel cannot, however, conduct a defense knowing it to be false. For example, if the client says he is guilty, the counsel cannot present to the court that he is innocent.
During trials for the serious crimes committed in 1999, the militia should be given legal defense. We do not defend the activities that were committed by the militia, but we can provide them with representation to assist the court in deciding whether they are innocent or guilty of crimes against humanity, sexual crimes or murder.
Upon completion of the investigation, if the prosecutor believes there is sufficient evidence that an individual has committed a crime, the prosecutor writes an indictment and files it in the Dili District Court, charging that individual for the crime. An indictment is a formal written document charging an individual for a crime or crimes. This document begins the court process. Information used to write the indictment consists of witness testimony gathered by the investigators, expert reports provided by specialists, photographs, videotape and physical evidence collected by the forensics team, any other relevant documentation, and an explanation of what law or laws have actually been broken and formally accuses the suspect. A copy of this indictment is given to the accused and his defence counsel, so that the accused knows what he is charged with. The special panel sets a date for a preliminary hearing to be held.
The preliminary hearing is a kind of pre-trial conference for the court to check if everything is ready for the trial. It is very important for the court to check if the rights of the accused are respected and to try to get the case ready for the trial. First, the court has to satisfy itself if the accused read the indictment, and as you know, here in East Timor many persons are illiterate persons, and in that case when the accused doesn't know to read or to write, the court has to ensure if somebody read the indictment for the accused, and after that, of course, the court has to ensure that the accused understand the nature of the charges against him or against her, and the court will rule on any motion or request submitted by the accused or the defense on behalf of the accused, and the court will give an opportunity to the accused person to make a statement concerning the charge against him, and the accused may plead guilty or not guilty to the charges as to all the charges or a portion of the charges. And it is also important for the court at that stage to determine what kind of evidence the defense would like to present for the trial of the case.
The preliminary hearing is an administrative hearing to check that the correct procedures have been followed. At the preliminary hearing, the indictment is read aloud to the accused to ensure that the accused understands what he is charged for. The accused is given a chance to make a statement at that time, which may include a plea of not guilty or an admission of guilt as to all or any of the charges. Admission of guilt can occur at any time during the court process. If the court is satisfied that the accused has really admitted to all parts of the crime, it will convict the accused. If the court is not satisfied that the admission matches the charges, it will proceed normally through the trial process as if the admission of guilt has not been made. The court should rule on any motions or requests for evidence or additional investigation. Upon reviewing the requests presented by the parties, the special panel of judges shall issue any necessary ruling and, after consultation with the parties, set a date for trial. The trial is the main hearing of the case in court. It is a public hearing, so anyone can attend. The trial is held in the Dili District Court in front of 3 judges. During the trial, there are several formalities that are observed in the courtroom. For example, the judges wear robes. All people stand when the judges enter and exit the courtroom, and there are security checks. People must respect the judges and behave appropriately. First, the judges give the accused an opportunity to make a statement if he wants to. Then the judges, prosecutor and defence can ask questions. The trial then begins with the prosecution making an opening statement, where he or she gives an overview of the case. Then the prosecutor provides evidence to prove the case, for example by asking witnesses to testify, presenting documents or physical evidence. Once the prosecutor has presented all the evidence, the defence counsel presents its case. The defence counsel presents all their evidence to the court and may also call witnesses to support their case. This process can take many weeks or months to finish. Once the prosecutor and defence have presented all relevant evidence, they are given an opportunity to make a final statement. This statement allows each party to present arguments on law and the facts about their case. Witnesses are one of the most important parts of the trial. First, they swear to tell the court the truth. Then they are able to tell the court what they know about a crime. Evidence can be given through oral testimony or introducing physical exhibits, such as a machete, gun, or pieces of clothing that relate to a crime. Evidence found at a crime scene should not be touched, handled, or removed. For example, the blood left on a machete should not be cleaned. Everything should be left as it was at the time of the incident. Most witnesses will already have made statements to police or serious crimes investigators about what they know about a crime. In East Timor, most of the crimes that witnesses are describing occurred over 2 years ago, so a witness may not remember all the details they describe in their first statement. These statements by the witness can be used to refresh the memory of the witness and check the accuracy of what they have said to the court.
One of the statements that he gave. Okay. It was saying that it identified picture 36 as the suspect. Now let me take a look at the original of that.
Picture 36. Yeah, this one. Okay, this one, this picture.
The judges, prosecution and defence will ask the witness questions about their statement to find out exactly what happened.
Witnesses are obliged to come to court when they are summoned by the court. Also, when witnesses testify, they must tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Lying in court as a witness is a crime and could attract its own consequences. A witness must answer questions asked to him or her in court. However, a witness is not obliged to answer questions tending to incriminate himself or herself. The court has a duty to protect the witnesses.
Some days, only one witness may be heard in the court, and that witness may be asked to return to the court to give more evidence. Independent observers are also present in court. They monitor the process of the trial and aim to ensure all parties are treated fairly in accordance with the law. They publish reports detailing the process of each trial and problems encountered during the trial.
We, as the independent monitoring group, monitor the court procedure and we report on it for the media. For example, television, radio and newspapers. We report on all issues from the court. For example, there may be cancelling a case because a judge's contract expired, or the judge is ill, or there are other problems. Other problems concern translators. For example, they didn't translate the law accurately for the accused. Another problem concerns the lawyers. The Timorese lawyers do not have good experience and formal training, so that is why the international staff take most of the court positions. Right now, they are starting to learn from the international staff. This is what has been happening in the court, and there are still more problems to be resolved.
After the hearing is completed, the judges begin deliberations in private. Nobody is allowed to interfere with his or her decision. They have 20 days to release a written decision on the guilt or innocence of the accused. The court is reconvened and the judges explain how they decided that the accused was guilty or not guilty. This is known as the verdict. If the person is guilty, the court will announce the sentence. The maximum sentence for a crime against humanity is 25 years in prison. In the case of Los Palos, Johnny Marcus was sentenced to 19 years for the murder of the clergy, 19 years for murder, 17 years for murder, 7 years for deportation and persecution. That total of 62 years was accumulated, but the judges limited the sentence to 33 years and 4 months to be served in Bacora prison. Like for this case, an accused can be convicted of more than one crime, so the sentences are added together, and then the judges must decide on the final sentencing. If the accused has been in prison for some time before the trial, this time served can be deducted from the final sentencing. Once the final decision has been released, any party can appeal the decision of the court if they think the judge's decision is not correct. Trials are recorded on audio and videotape. These records are available on request to all the parties to the proceedings, including their legal counsel, to check if the judges followed the law and used all the evidence. The Court of Appeal sets a date for a hearing and will follow the process until a decision is made.
After obtaining independence on the 20th of May, it was announced that the United Nations will continue to assist the Serious Crimes Unit to investigate these cases and bring them to trial in order to achieve justice. We will continue to receive assistance from the United Nations through their follow-on mission, UNMISET. We wish to ask that the witnesses and the families of the victims cooperate with the serious crimes investigators so that they can accomplish their work and bring these cases to trial, and so that we can achieve justice for all as soon as possible. Thank you.
The process from investigation to prosecution and through the court proceedings can be slow. Justice takes time.